Another one is the proper city. I've noticed in the talks that a lot of people are annoyed with the way the city is cleaned, or it's not cleaned. So you need to, for one thing, repair the sewage system, and I know that plans are underway, but I also know that this, of course, is very expensive. And also here, I would say, if you have real estate developments, you should immediately combine that with the repairment of a part of the sewage system. The same you could do for the city on the river. I know it's a very radical idea, but I also know that the river is missed by a lot of people. But the river is also maybe an opportunity to make a different area and to develop a new riverfront. That's something, of course, to research and to find out if that's feasible at all. A fourth one that I didn't put here is places for children. I noticed that in the youngest city of, now the youngest country of Europe, so it's probably also the youngest city in Europe, there is hardly any place for children to play, and I think that's a very important element you should improve in Prishtina. And again, you could combine that with things that you can burn a little bit of money. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Also, I think you raised a lot of questions we can discuss. Probably not all of them I'm a bit afraid of, but I think it will give us a lot of ideas where we can focus on in the debate, and Florina and we will try to structure this a little bit then later on. I would like to keep on with the next lecture by Wilma Ruiz, who is advisor and trainer, and I think she has a very, very interesting work, because somehow she is advising the municipalities and so on in this participatory planning process, how to integrate communities, neighborhoods, how to negotiate between the public and the private interests. And I think this whole issue of how public and private interests can be brought together, and under even what Marcel was showing, under the conditions of market economy, different interests, changing conditions, which means that the planning has to be flexible, but on the other hand, not to forget the people who the plans are made for, and especially I think as professionals we always have to remember that there are also people who have problems to articulate their interests, and for that reason I think it's also very needed that they need sometimes some support to articulate their interests in the whole process. And I think Wilma can give us some examples from her work, and she is also related to an organization, actually a foundation, as I learned, the work, which has a very interesting, it's a non-profit foundation, so they pay the salaries to the people who work for them, but the profit which they make out of their projects is then not like in a commercial company used for private interest, but is brought back for projects for public interest, is even giving to other organizations to do something good, let's say. So I'm very keen to hear what you have to tell us.
There has to be something technical then. So do you know what to do? Yes, and it's always a nice part of the year when we decide where to spend our profit to, because we decide that with 20 people, and it means that we have our own experience of making big decisions with more than 2 people in one room. And it's always something which takes more than one meeting. Thank you for allowing me to speak here about participation. I want to thank the people who showed us Prishtina today and yesterday, because it's really, someone asked me, is it what you expected? And it really is what I expected, because I expected that nothing would be as I would recognize for other projects I'm working on. And it's, when I was thinking about what I was going to tell you today, I became very modest of what it could help you in your project. But maybe it makes it possible for you to just associate in your thoughts about your own projects and see what's helping you. I'm very keen on taking people with me in participation in organizations and in urban development. My organization has a lot of experience with that. And to give you a few examples, we worked with in Zeeland, which is the part of the Netherlands which is, has most things to do with the sea. And the participation process was about the question which part of this province, is this the right word, province, region, are we going to give back to the sea? So you know, people were talking about, are we going to lose our house or not? So it was a very difficult participation process. We also did the urban development process of The Hague for the vision on the future of The Hague. And that was quite a difficult, complicated process because there were so many different parts with people have different interests in the future. It seems that there is a problem with my presentation. Why would you want to involve the owners and users of the building in a planning process? It's an interesting question. Why would you involve people living there? My conclusion after reading the book which Kai made, and which several other people have made articles in, is that it's a very rational decision how people are building in Prishtina at the moment. There seems to be no restrictions in what they want and what they can build. They can build their own home. There seems to be no restrictions and possibilities. It seems to be the best economic possibility. If you want to spend your money, you build your house, and that's the way to make a profit. It's very reasonable to build here in Prishtina and not somewhere else because it seems to be the most safe place in Kosovo, and it has the most economic possibilities. And what I find very interesting in the book is that it said that Kosovo and Prishtina has a history of where it was very useful that you were not known at any administration because there was always a change in who was in the lead and it could be a very dangerous situation if they knew where you were and what you were doing. So it's very understandable that people don't register their way in the place where they live, but it's a difficult thing for people who want to plan the city. What we are working with, I'm not an urban planner, I'm not an architect, and when we are working with someone on the planning process, we always have the same discussion, because the architect and the urban planner want the people who are taking part in the participation doing the things they need for their planning. But most people don't participate to make it easier for you to plan. They participate because it makes it somewhere has a profit for them in participating in the planning. So it's a totally different way of thinking about how you work with those people. You don't ask yourself, what can they do for me in the planning process? You ask yourself, what can I do for them in the planning process? So you have to talk with them very, very good. You have to listen very good to see what they need. It's a totally different way of thinking about the participation process. And I must say that when we work with government and with some urban planning bureaus, it's part of the discussion that we always have to say, listen to what people say and try to do in any way, and maybe not exactly as they say, but make visible what you use of them. How do you involve them in the planning process? What you have to do is to explore what their needs, interests, and incentives are. That's the next, I put it on the next dia because it's a very important notion. You have to find out what they need to get a better life in Prishtina. You have to find out why they're needing this, and you have to find out why they want you to do it for them instead of they are doing it with someone else, or maybe even themselves like they're doing it now. So you have to know what do they need to get a better life in Prishtina. You know why they're needing this. Why do they want it from you instead of someone else? I had a guess about it, but I had that guess before I came.